please join me in congratulating Dr. Evan Fraser, the 2024 recipient of the Science for Policy Award.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was wonderful. So very, very nice. And of course, just, delightful to be singled out for doing important work. That's really, really nice. Equally, what a huge shout out to my colleagues at Errol Food Institute, University of Guelph. Many here today. Yeah. Woo! Aaron, Alice Tamblin-Rain, Elizabeth Shantz, Melissa Watkins, that's sort of the team that I get to work with. And then we've got some senior management here tonight. Cheyenne Sharif, my old friend, and Karina McInnes, I don't know where you are, some folks from the other offices. Thank you. And, our work is funded by Errol Food Institute and the Canada First Research Excellence Fund. So huge shout out to the philanthropists and the federal government that supports the work. So round of applause for that. As you may have guessed, I'm a food guy. And at Errol Food Institute, we get to work on one of the toughest challenges facing humanity. How do we create the policies, incentives, the kind of structures we need to have more food being produced, more healthy and nutritious food, while shrinking the environmental footprint of our food system? Now, working on one of these great global challenges, helping humanity feed the future, while contending with climate change and a fracturing global trade system, that is pretty depressing stuff most days. I mean, after all, agriculture contributes about a third of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. And get this, folks, the number of hungry people and the number of people who are suffering from chronic diseases linked with diet, so obesity and diabetes, both of those numbers are heading upwards in the world right now and have been for almost 10 years. Food prices, unbelievably high, precipitating a crisis in the food banking and charitable food sector in Canada. Nevertheless, despite the somber tone of all this, I get to work every day, not only because I get to work with excellent people, but I am incredibly optimistic. There are so many innovations happening up and down the food system, innovations that we should be proud as Canadians to be part of. Here's a couple of quick anecdotes. A friend of mine farms a very large parcel of land in South Saskatchewan. He showed me some data recently that because of investing in science and technology and engaging in really careful stewardship of his soil, he has brought his yields up, and he's probably brought his climate change emissions down to the point where he's absorbing climate change emissions. He is net negative. I was talking to a rancher not too long ago who's recently spent approximately $100,000 on 2 drones. The first drone flies out, and it can identify noxious weeds within hours of germination. The second drone flies out, and with minute amounts of pesticide and entirely electrical energy, so no diesel, zaps those weeds. Another example, this one just from a trip I took in the summer to Okanagan Falls, British Columbia. A vertical farm, a hermetically sealed box that produces the tastiest and, by nutritional standards, healthiest lettuce I have ever had the privilege to eat. It can be brought to the market in a way that slashes greenhouse gas emissions and reduces Canada's dependency on that endless parade of trucks trundling up from California bringing us our produce. And those are just farm-level innovations. I could go on for hours, but I'll spare you, talking about other kinds of innovation at other points in the food system. I think that one of the conclusions that we should draw from this is that if there was a part of the economy that Canada can own the podium on, that we can truly be a global superpower, it's ag, food, and innovation. Now, to get there, to achieve that goal, work needs to be done. And you're a policy audience. Here's a couple of policy tips that I think would help us on the way. First of all, we are great at research. We know we are great at research, but we aren't so great at turning that research into commercial ventures. Too many of our companies flee to the States or run out of capital before they can get to scale. we need policies to help support our ag tech entrepreneurs. We need policies to reward and incentivize capital and investment in this space. Agriculture requires patient capital, so we need policies that will reward that patience. We need policies that will focus on ensuring that the benefits of the ag tech revolution are equitably and inclusively shared amongst groups such as Indigenous entrepreneurs and racialized business owners. These types of people who have been traditionally excluded need to be full participants, beneficiaries, co-owners, and in leadership positions in this. And a topic that is near and dear to my heart and folks at the University of Guelph, we need policies and programs to convince our best young talent to devote their lives to one of the world's greatest problems, figuring out how humanity will feed itself without destroying the planet. Of course, none of these things are actually that hard. We're talking about science and we're talking about policy. I'm not saying we have to invent cold fusion in a bottle or a quantum computer in order to have a food system for the 21st century. I'm saying it'll take work and effort, but what we can do is very, very achievable. So, rather than dwelling on the negative, I'd like to finish by quoting Justine Hendricks, the new CEO of Farm Credit Canada, Canada's largest loan lender to agriculture and farmers. She recently said to me, it was last Thursday actually, she recently said to me, agriculture is a generational opportunity for our country. It's an opportunity not only to grow our economy, but as we're growing our economy and investing in innovation, we will not only help our bodies, but we will help heal the planet as well. So with that, I am so grateful that this work is being celebrated tonight. I'm so thankful to our funders and my colleagues, and I'm so grateful to CSPC. Thank you very much.